privilege because you are talking to the weed smoking. You are talking to the low riding, the high flying, the Latino version of Ric Flair, the flyest, freshest nigga you ever seen in your life. Fat Caesar.
Get a load of this
And
guy.
you in tune with the Pearl River Reaper. And I don't give no fucks.
It's good to have you guys on. Second episode. Did you guys listen to the first one?
Yes, I
Loved
did.
it.
I loved the episode. You know, there were some inaccuracies with everything that's going on, but you know, very great for a beginning show. So you know, I'm very ecstatic to see how you take on people like us. You know, you mess with some guys that have been in GW for some time, but this right here is the ultimate. We've been here forever. We've been here since the very damn beginning. So I want you to understand that you're here with people that paved the way for people like you to come in here and take over. And I fucking commend you for taking that brass ring that some other promotions talk about and take that shit and you run with that motherfucker. I'm very proud of you. I like what you do.
Big fan of the
I,
dick,
you
are
know
you?
what?
But
I gotta
thank you,
agree. I gotta agree because I remember when I first saw you and you evolved
yeah, that was
during
back
your
in
career.
IWL.
Yeah.
That place. Let me tell you about IWL. We had a great time there. We came there, and just like what Bash said, we made everybody switch their game up. We came there, we cut the best promos, we made the best matches, and then you know they try to do like, you know, some underhanded things. But one thing that Bash did not tell you in that interview is that yeah, they put us in matches together, but we took it as us sparring against each other and putting on great matches. That's all we took it as, because at the end of the day, we are the best wrestlers on the planet, and we are all about the fans at the end of the day, and we are doing our job. It's something that we've been engineered to do for the majority of our lives.
Yeah, and the thing is, with GEW, we pride ourselves also with our showmanship. Like a lot of guys in IWL, they know how to wrestle, but that's where it stops. There's no theater, there's no real, you know, anything technical going on. And you know, it's very PG, and you know, there's only a few guys over there that I will say knew what the main goal was, like Charlie Whiskers. You know,
Yes.
shout out to him because
I want to tell y'all all something about Charlie Whiskers. Charlie Whiskers lost to me over one finisher, and I counting him out 1, 2, 3, and he was done in the first match we ever had, and he's never been able to shake that since.
Yeah, Charlie, I've worked with him plenty of times, and that guy is he is so talented. He really is, man.
He's great and all that, but
I mean,
you
the
know,
resiliency that guy has. That guy literally does have 9 lives, you know. And we talked a lot about him on the last podcast with Bash and Buford, and they had nothing but nice things to say about him and working with him in IWL. You know, he's also in GEW, and that's one thing that I realized real quick, just to point out what Fat Caesar said. When I was in IWL, I almost felt like I was handcuffed of what I could do and couldn't do, or like what I couldn't say or what I could say. And that's one thing that I really like about GEW, that there's no handcuffs.
well,
we don't.
well, understand that
No
the
locked
people,
doors, that's it.
yeah, that too, and the originators of this company are from Jersey, and their whole lingo is like they're always about roasting people and making people either like roast back and forth, and they all have tough skin and stuff like that. And if you ain't got tough skin, then this ain't the league for you, son. That's all I can only tell you. So we're all about having a good time, being free with our words, being that we do have freedom of speech, but sometimes freedom of speech can be a bit too fucked up. But at the end of the day, you know, we let everybody have freedom to be who they want to be in that ring, outside the ring, and that's the best thing about all of us. GW.
No,
I mean, it's a real American way, I would say, GW. Like, no disrespect, but even Gabriel knows this, that when we came to IWL, we brought showmanship, and, you know, he'll be able to definitely say, you know what, yeah, the ratings went high. And every time me, Kaz, and Grym got in that ring together, every time, the ratings were
it
just
definitely
next
went
level.
up. No, yeah, because like I remember when I first got there, I don't think I ever did a match with Grym. I don't think we ever worked together. I don't remember any house shows.
You know, we should try to get that going.
Yeah,
We should try to, you
absolutely
know
a
what, you
GW.
know,
Hey, I can make that happen right now.
at least a house show. You know, this guy has all the booking power in the world,
Yeah.
and I can go to any show at this point. You know, I'm on my retirement tour, and
Oh, that's something
you
we're
know,
definitely going to get into later
know.
on the podcast.
yeah,
But what a hell of a career you've had. But we'll get into that later. But
most definitely.
I think I did a program with Fat Caesar. What was that? We had a pay-per-view, wasn't it? The 2 out of 3
sure
fall.
did.
Yeah.
And I called you out, and you know
You
what?
did.
I had to remember at that time that I'm not as young as I used to be, and you are the next generation. But I had to call you out because, you know, in the locker room, you had a reputation for probably being my favorite troll. And being that I had just finished trolling John Cena and beat the crap out of him, and he was very offended because he's a guy that, you know, he came out of the WWE and he came to IWL and he thought, you know, he had a little special treatment. Then he ran into me. So, you know, I was feeling myself. That was I think that was my last glory moment in IWL. And then when you came and you had the dick application. I had to
Dude,
get
that
at
went
you.
so over.
I had to get
That
at
got
you.
so over in IWL. That actually won
How did
Best
that-
Gimmick of the Year.
Now,
How did you come up
up with that?
How did I come up with that? So when I got suspended, my brother and I we both got suspended, and when I was taking some time off, I was thinking about, like, you know, I like taking like a month off, and I gotta come back, like, you know, I gotta do something big. I gotta think of something big. And, you know, like the gimmick that I had, like when I showed up, was I was the best submission specialist, and that's how I won all my matches. And then I was like, you know, my name's Johnny Dangerous. Why don't I just like Johnny Dick Dangerous? And that just was like, you know, a light bulb just clicked in my head. It was like, boom. That will get so over because, like, the amount of puns and the T-shirts and the, you know, the dick appointment slip, that was the very first thing I came up with, and, you know, it got over.
I remember the slip.
That's very genius, man. Because when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, people were so repulsed and hated it so much. You drew heat, like how you should, because you're a heel. Am I right?
No, I was actually a babyface, believe it or not.
Really?
But yeah, like I would like tween. I was like one of those tweeners that would go back and forth. But like I was a face, but I was getting heat like a heel. But like,
Yes.
because when I pitched the idea to Whiskers, he wasn't about it at first, you know, and like the whole dick appointment slips, and it caught on. So it kind of forced his hand, like, you know what, the people are loving this. I have no other choice but to accept it, you know. And he wasn't adamant at it at first, but he fell in love with the gimmick, and that it took off from there.
Amazing.
No, and I thought it was hilarious, and that's why, you know, I was like, I don't know if you remember, I approached you in the locker room and I said, listen, since you're going with the whole dick appointment thing, I'm gonna come at you with the Fleece Johnson, the OG that was in prison.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, I likes you, I wants you. We can do this the easy way, and we can do this the hard way, because, you know, I felt like instead of being insulted or disgusted, I felt like, I need to add to the comedy. And, anybody comfortable with their sexuality, they're not going to have a problem doing the whole little
Exactly.
prison joke thing. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I really thought that we were going to get in it because we agreed that we were going to actually
So,
freestyle the match.
so wait,
and
so wait,
I
so
thought
wait a
I
minute.
was going to make you my bitch.
So wait a minute. You gonna play with his dick?
No,
No, I thought, no.
It's a play on
I
words.
thought,
That's the whole gimmick.
Yeah, it's a play on.
It's a play on words. So you wanna play with dick?
No, basically, I intended to make him my bitch. That's how I felt. That was the word. That was just like he's saying.
In order to make somebody a bitch, you have to touch them.
No, but we got into the match though, and
I pile drive the shit out of him. That is touching him.
Yeah, you did. But
Damn.
no, we got into. I remember we got into it, and then like I hit you, and you're like, no, really hit me, and I'm like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, they'll love it. And then like your intensity was just like I couldn't find anybody that would match your intensity there at IWL. It was like you were just let's do this, and you were all about go, and we had one hell of a 2 out of 3 falls match.
And this is why we say we're the best in the world at what we do. Like I said, you can put us in a match together, but we don't have the best match you've ever seen.
Oh
so
yeah,
anybody that you put in the ring with us, our intent always is to have the best match you've ever seen, bar none, nothing else.
Yeah,
it's not always about winning. It's about the match.
Oh yeah, you definitely put me over. Thank you on that, because like this was like on my rise, like because I became one of the top guys that were there. I was so over, and everybody were wearing the Dick T-shirts, they were wearing the Dick appointment slips, and I was just so over. And beating
which you can get one right now.
Yeah,
at
you get one.
GW.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you can. You can also shop there and get your Grim Reaper gear.
And most definitely. Pearl River Reaper t-shirts, all it's fucking amazing. Shout out to our designers for getting that done. It's probably one of the best shirts you can ever get. The GW merchandise is the best merchandise you can get if you're a wrestling fan or you just like things that look like Ed Hardy shit.
So you can go there to GW.com/thedick. Go get your free Dick T-shirt. But anyways, back to what we were saying.
You're going to be in the first GW video game soon too. Gotta tell people about that.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
we just signed a deal with EA Sports.
Man.
Wow. Now,
yeah,
let's.
Man. I just did the mocap session like last week.
Oh, I still need to get in there and get it and do that.
Oh no, I had a talk with them. Your mocap sessions is probably going to be in 2 days.
2 days.
They want to make they want to make sure that they get the right movements correctly.
Okay, sweet. But let's transition and talk about GW.
You know like how you do your dick thrust. They gotta make sure they do it correctly, and your dick motion goes up.
So let's transition to GW. So Fat Cesar, you were the founder, right, of GW? Is that correct?
Kind of. My brother was, and Mr. B. But me and Grym were the first signees. Me and Grym were in college together. And it wasn't working out. Like, let's be real, I mean, I could do the corporate shit, but I'm not a corporate guy.
Which you're kind of getting into.
I am now, but see, different. I'm aged now,
Yeah, you can't be taking those bumps anymore.
My knees, they're hurt. Like, I'll be real.
I'm going to tell y'all all the truth. I probably am not going to actually retire. I'm only 33. And I can come back and kick everyone's ass if I want to.
But see, that's the difference. I'm 44.
Yeah.
And I've been wrestling since 1998.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you came to college pretty late, and I was like, why you in night classes all the time? And you said you had to go to work.
Yeah, so 44, man, you can't be taking bumps like that anymore. Oh, yeah, by the way, how's your jaw from that Dick Chin music?
Oh, you know what? I like that. Just for that though, putting you in a match with Psycho.
Oh, come on now.
Don't do that.
Oh, come
man.
on.
I hate Psycho. Fuck that man.
That guy, he's a real piece
Listen,
of work. But
it
anyway,
was for those of you who are wondering that, listen, you know, Psycho was a quick 1 month deal that I had going with a gentleman that wanted a shot, and we're just gonna leave it at that. But back to Rising in GW.
yeah.
But basically, you know, we started out in the Route 70 flea market in Lakewood, New Jersey, and then English Town, and then eventually we got to Newark, and then Jersey City, where that's really where everything started to take off.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we used to get like fireworks from Mexicans for cheap?
Oh yeah, listen, I still got them on speed dial.
Remember when we used to like go over the budget for like pyro for no damn reason? The majority of the time it was you.
Listen, I can't help that when I come in, I like to make an entrance.
You almost made Google broke.
So let's talk about the rise of GEW. So when I first got to IWL, like GEW was just hitting its rise, and because I remember there was a lot of guys that defected from IWL over towards GEW. So how was that like getting their talent? Were you able to like coax their guys into getting like their top talent, and like how was that process like?
Well, I mean, it's just chemistry.
Yeah, we built amazing relationships with some of these performers, and we saw the most immense potential in these people. So it just made sense for them to spread their wings and go elsewhere. You don't if you're really a real wrestler, you don't have to be confined to the promotion that you're a part of unless you're under contract. But so a lot of these people are not under contract. A lot of these people are just independent contractors. They don't have to be there. And IWL is not going to give everybody a title shot. They're not going to put anybody in a place to have a push. GW, ever since we've been upping our roster, a lot of people have gotten title shots that I don't even know who the hell they even are. So understand, like, people are getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity in GW. IWL, there's something going on. I just felt like there was so many just backstage politics going on in IWL.
Which I have an interesting story about that with
do tell.
Ron Harper. Roy Harper. Yeah, I always call him Ron for some reason.
It looks like a Ron.
Roy Harper. So, at first, I signed him, and I gave him the same treatment that I give you. You know, I gave him a push. He ended up, Kaz gave him a push. Kaz gave him nothing but love. Bash too. Like, we all gave him. We were like, listen, we're gonna push you to the forefront. You're gonna have this great rivalry. And he told me something interesting, because I said to him, you go by a different name in IWL, but here I just have to call you Harper. And why is that? And he told me, like, Gabriel told me he will sue me.
Oh, really?
He will sue me. I can't use the same name there. Now, I guess Gabriel knows that Charlie Whiskers' net worth is really up there, so he didn't say anything about Whiskers.
I think Charlie Whiskers has rights to his name, as in where Harper does not have rights to his name. It's almost like the Cody Rhodes situation.
Yeah, I mean, I had rights to my name when I first signed, because it wasn't his idea. It was but
they couldn't take our names. We came in with our names. Like, they cannot touch our names.
Yeah. So I do have a question about GW. When some of these guys that you were signing from IWL, like, were they quick to sign on? Like, was it because they were unhappy of where they were in the pecking order, or like, what was the
Okay,
deal
I'm
there?
gonna give you an example. I'm gonna use Whiskers first.
Okay.
So Whiskers, you know, he was hesitant at first, but we were real cool already. So like, you know, in the locker room in IWL, we always hung out and everything. And him and Kaz used to play a lot of dominoes together. And you know, we used to drink, we used to do all kinds of things. And we told him like, listen, we don't have a rule where, you know, you got to be exclusive. Like, why don't you come, just have a little cross promotion match? And he was like, you know what, I could do that, but it can't be like a pay-per-view, you know. So we did one of those off the grid matches where we just went to a city, and you know, that's one thing GW does. Like, throughout the week, our superstars are hitting up different stadiums and other venues, not even like top venues. It might be a low budget venue, but we serve the community by putting on a show, charge pretty cheap. We only charge top price for, you know, our weekly promotions and our pay-per-views. But like, so we took Whiskers on one of those, and he just loved how free it was, and he was like, listen, I have some obligations that I have to do. After the obligations are over, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, when the new quarter begins, sign with you guys. And then he ended up like loving what we do, and he brought some of his POH guys with us. And oh, which by the way, Bash is 100% correct. There would be no POH if it wasn't for the GWO.
No, not at all. It wouldn't be.
It really wouldn't.
Now, some of the top people that you signed, like, who are some of the top people that you have you signed here in GW?
Jamal Ortiz. Let me tell you something.
Jamal
If you
is
know
an
about
amazing
Jamal,
talent.
Oh yeah,
you know, Jamal's a good friend of yours. You guys
one of my
have
best
a
friends.
great rivalry right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And King Justice.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. My protege, man. Like, he's gonna have something in front of him at Wrestle Bowl. I'm telling you this right now. He's been doing really good. He's been doing great ever since,
Intercontinental champion.
He's been doing great. He's been doing great since, you know, we disbanded Nightmare Raiders, and you know, he lost the Hardcore Championship to Leo Mack, and he kind of lost his way a little bit. But now, since he won that Intercontinental Championship, and I'm seeing Leo Mack and him together, I'm starting to see a changing in the guard a little bit, because those are the two most talented
Starting to
new
connect the
wrestlers.
dots.
Oh yeah, and Beatdown, hands down. You know, when it comes to Beatdown, it's Leo Mack, King Justice. But as far as people that came from IWL, there's a few people. I mean, we got Azrael. He came from over there too. I believe Misery.
Misery is really good. OG Beast is one of my favorites.
Oh, OG
Definitely
Beast, that guy
my
is
favorite.
such a, like, that match that him and I think it was him and I that we had for the North American title. Oh my God, that was a grueling match.
He's one hell of a performer. But, you know, remember that time he disrespected us and he was trying to beat up us OGs and stuff like that.
Well, he comes from Cleveland, all right, and I'm a Cleveland boy too. And like us Cleveland boys, we're stubborn, we're hard-headed, and we think we can take on the world. So I mean, like, OG Beast he truly is good.
But also, you know, I started my retirement tour, and I wanted to, like, face certain wrestlers, old and new, and he was the first one on the list, and I beat him like it was nothing. So I really want you to understand that I may have beaten him like it was nothing, but I really want him to know that I passed the torch on to him as well, as much as, you know, these new crop of talent never
such as
happened.
myself, because I wanted
So
to
that's
get,
why,
yeah, I wanted to get
it
onto
makes
that
sense for
later.
me and you to have a match.
Oh yeah,
it makes sense.
but another guy that you need to sign is one of my really good friends from Team Alpha Male is Romel. Romel was one of the fastest rising superstars in IWL, and he got shafted by management hardcore, and that guy is just so good at what he does. I remember the very first time I bumped into him, we did a match, and the dude beat me, and like not very many people beat me, but he did, and that guy is just so good at what he does, and he's just, you know, he. He's like one of those he's like one of those Canadians that like he's not your stereotypical Canadian. He is just so violent all the time, and he's just like if you cross him in any way, it's just blood. And that guy truly is really that damn good. And that's a guy that I've been trying to get into GEW.
Hey, you give him my contact information.
Oh, absolutely.
And, he can come through to the Imperial Hall and to do a quick little tryout, little spar session. And, we can make it happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Man.
So
any child that loves to come over to GEW, we will welcome them with open arms and broken necks.
So before
that's a T-shirt right there. I like that.
So before we transition into Grym's big retirement tour that he's got going on, let's talk about. I know a lot of people are asking, since we have Fat Cesar, of how Fat Cesar managed to snag me away from IWL. Fat Cesar, do the honors.
Well, it's simple. First of all, it's two words: money, freedom. And I'm gonna go with freedom first. See, you were mistreated at your time in IWL in the beginning, especially. You were wrongfully stripped, in my opinion, of your title, and I just felt like you were, not that you were wasting your talent, but you had so much potential that was untapped, and I saw that when we got in the ring together, and I said, here's a guy that has potential to create a movement. There's guys that wrestle, and there's guys that create movements, like you have Grym created movement, Kaz created a movement, Big Buford created a movement, and I feel like you could do the same thing. Same with Charlie Whiskers. See, I like to sign guys that are going to create movements. Yeah, there are some guys that we have that they just wrestle, but it's because that's what they want to do. You know what I mean? I give you the creative freedom in GEW to be whatever it is you want to be. So I felt like, okay, you could be like The Rock. You could be like Stone Cold Shawn Michaels. You could be like Kaz. You could be like Grym. You could be like that guy that there's a movement behind you. Pop culture. At the end of the day, I mean, look at your merchandise. I'm a businessman. I'm a hustler. I knew your merchandise would sell, and I knew you would do good also with the female fans and some of our younger fans that they look up to you. You do great with the toys, and now you're gonna be in the video game and everything. So I just felt like, you know what? You could be that guy, and you're a different level of asshole. Like, you're not like
I'm a dick.
You're not the regular asshole.
I'm a dick.
Exactly. You're a dick. You know what? Listen, GW's filled with assholes and just like angry, aggressive. So it's like
you need that dick to
dick,
fuck those
but
assholes.
You're laid back.
And
I mean, big pause on that. But,
it almost felt like I was the modern day CM Punk in IWL, because I wasn't happy with management. I wasn't happy with how they did my brother, and believe it or not, me and my tag team partner Jesse Blaze, we still are the longest reigning world IWL tag team champions, and like it didn't understand, I don't understand why management would would just fire me out of the blue. Like we had this
To
huge.
be to be honest, you know, even though I can't, when I left IWL a week ago, I did go to Gabriel first. And I did tell him I did grant my release, and you know, and I took Leo Mack with me. I took Lula Angelica with me as well, because I felt like there were some things going. I just didn't have time for them. You know, GW is my home, and I'm getting ready to retire. And right now,
Yeah, we'll get
there's a
on
lot.
that here in a second.
There's a lot of things that's on my plate that's going to happen right after that retirement. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But one of the things I just started to realize that I don't think Gabriel runs IWL.
No one knows who runs it anymore. That was the thing. It was like,
Yeah.
it was just chaos because I felt like the modern day CM Punk. Like I wasn't happy with management. I wasn't happy with the handcuffs they put on me. Like my character, like the gimmick that I have, I need to be like unhandcuffed. Okay, I need to be free.
Yeah, you need to be offensive a little bit.
Yeah, I have to. You know, I'm a face that generates heel heat, but people love me. People love the dick gimmick. It won best gimmick of the year. I was so over. Like I didn't understand because we were supposed to. Because Whiskers and I are really good friends, and we talked about doing a faction war because he's the leader of POH and I'm the leader of Team Alpha Male. And we talked about doing that, and the build-up to that was with JJ announcing that he was a part of POH and me putting him over in the Elimination Chamber, so we were going to start a feud over the world title for POH, and then my boys on Energy were going to start a feud with his boys, you know, and it was going to culminate at a pay-per-view, you know?
Right.
And when they fired me, I was almost shocked because I was so over. I was one of the top guys, my popularity was huge. And then what really sold me on GEW was Kaz. He was in town, and him and I we went out, despite my wife not wanting me to go out. But so we went out, and you know, he said, "Hey man, like, I want to introduce you to Fat Cesar." And I was like, "Yeah, I already know him." And he's like, "No, because he knows guys that are GEW, and he can hook you up. If you want in, all you have to do is ask." So I asked, and then when I sat down with you, Fat Cesar, like, we sat down, we talked about like what would happen from day one, and the storylines and the booking and the push. Like I didn't get a push in IWL when I first got there. I wasn't used to the creative freedom that I had because when we sat down, you offered me creative freedom. I never had that in IWL.
No, because you're a walking brand. It's like, why am I going to limit your brand that you built yourself? Because listen, I saw the dollar signs. I said, this is a man that I got to let him do what it is that he does, and me, I just have to stir you because you know you came a little chaotic, and I just had to kind of throw you into a mode where, okay, it's going to be zone by zone, piece by piece, and the fact that you were willing to build with me, you know, I'm not going to do no kind of spoilers, but, you know, I look forward to Wrestle Bowl, especially with what you're involved in.
Oh, that storyline, you know, that was one thing, because Jamal and I, we talked about, because him and I were best friends, and we're probably like really good together as a tag team. We're still undefeated as a tag team, him and I. And we talked about doing a feud together, and then like when we came to you about it, you were just so excited about it because it's like two of your top guys. Like, because I was one of the hottest free agents after IWL, and like you were quick to sign me, and that bonus was very nice. Me and my wife enjoy that very much. Thank you. But like when we approached you about like him turning heel on me, and you know, like doing the storyline, and with Virgil Graves, which I actually, isn't that a good friend of yours, Grym?
Being that he is a part of the Wolf Pack, no, he is not.
He's a good friend of mine, though.
Yeah.
He's somebody that Kaz called him to come back because he was part of our promotion a while ago, but then he left to Japan for a while, and he was doing his thing in Germany. I mean, this guy, listen, this guy was big in Europe. So I told him, like, listen, I'm gonna double whatever they're paying you over there, and you can still go back there and wrestle there whenever you want. Like, he's European champion
yeah.
in a promotion in Germany right now. But
And
he's also
now he's the
world
heavyweight
title
champion.
Yeah, and I
The
was
world
so
title
excited
champion.
because, like, when I got here, like, when you said, yeah, I'm going to do a program, like, with your best friend and then with your guys' top guy, your top guy, me, just walking in day one, already in a storyline and a push with that promotion with GW's top guy. You know, that I was super excited to hear that.
Jamal, you know, when it comes to Titan Wars, like Jamal, he's the A show for a reason.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Virgil kind of took that a little bit now.
And I'm not gonna lie, the first match that Virgil and Jamal had, you know, Virgil really did resort to using weapons and beating his ass just so he can get that win, because Jamal was getting in that ass. I'm not gonna lie, and he did resort, and then he caught him with that move. I don't know what it's called, the rolling Death Valley driver. It's the most, like, he has not kicked out of that move yet.
But
And
no.
and then, oh man, if y'all didn't see the Hell in a Cell match they had together for the
I was
title,
there. Yeah.
for the rematch, and he put him through the cell, and then he threw Virgil Graves off from the top of the cell all the way down to the ring, and he still lost.
I think that was the same pay-per-view where I won the North American title. I think that was the same night he turned heel.
This was actually very recent.
This was a rematch.
It was the rematch.
on the pay-per-view.
Where was the night that he turned heel? Because I know you, because
All
we were
right,
doing
that's
the
probably was the first time I won the championship.
Yeah,
that's the first time Virgil won the championship.
Yeah.
So, but the second time, because, you know, we didn't, you know, the match that was supposed to happen between you and OG Beast versus
Jamal
Ortiz,
and,
Jamal,
yeah.
and Virgil Graves didn't happen, so we ended up booking them in the Titanfall pay-per-view for a Hell in a Cell match between just the two of them, and it was a great match. Just to tell you, but it was a surprise just to see Virgil Graves after all that adversity and getting damn near destroyed.
Yeah, the reason
still
why
pull
that
out a
match
win.
never happened because I was still injured from OG Beast, dude. He definitely did ding me up some. I separated my shoulder. There was a spot that went wrong, and I ended up separating my shoulder, and I had to pop that back into place in mid-match.
You know, and this is why we have really good doctors and we have the best
Exactly.
insurance.
Yeah, because no, he apologized. He was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." I was like, "No, man, don't. I'm a big dude, you know."
Yeah.
But that
Ratings
was,
were through the roof, though. I'll tell you
yeah, that was probably one of the most grueling matches I've ever done. It really was, because it was a fall count anywhere, and it was Extreme Rules, you know, and those chair shots he hit me with were just, oh god, brutal. But so let's transition over to Grym. So, Grym,
Yes.
is it true that you are on your retirement tour? How do you feel about your retirement tour, and can you reflect on your career here at GEW?
I can say for my retirement tour, I've beaten and lost to the best. I've beaten OG Beast. I have lost to Charlie Whiskers, but you know, Kaz was like antagonizing him the whole time, and it made his rage.
He's always starting shit. He's always starting shit.
It made his rage go to different heights and levels that I couldn't reverse him. I couldn't do anything to him. He was just a whole nother monster. We had we had the Mount Rushmore match between Big Buford, Kazuya, and Fat Caesar, which was, Fat Caesar's retirement match. And I kicked your ass, Caesar. You know that, right? I pinned you 1, 2, 3.
You did, but you know what? It was Get Back for a few years ago. You said that you said some real fucked up shit. I forgot what you said, but at the end of the night, I ended up winning that one. Oh yeah, and it was a triple threat.
I'm gonna say I guess so, but like the real match that really was like the whole shebang bang is
my final match.
It's the Mount Rushmore match between me, you, Big Buford, and Kazuya, and I pinned you 1, 2, 3.
You did pin me 1, 2, 3.
But you did put up a good fight, and it was probably one of our best matches of all 4 of us in that ring together.
So Grym, I have a few questions for you. So with your retirement coming up, what were some of the accolades and the achievements that you've had here in GEW? Because I know I just got here, and I'm having a hard time like meeting everybody because, even though I'm the North American champion, I still get people's names wrong. And they're like, look at this new guy. But
so you almost forgot that Reverend Graves was the champion.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm in a storyline with him. I can't believe I spaced on that. But thank you for. Maybe it's the concussion that I got, but
it may be, man.
Yeah.
Concussions is very, very like it's protocol over here. We all drop on our heads every now and then.
Yeah, but your achievements here in GEW.
5-time world champion, 2-time tag champion. That's all I can say at this point. Everything else is kind of a blur. But the most thing that's more important is those world championship wins and runs.
So real quick, with you kind of like being, the face that kind of runs the place here. Now, have you like been following the new guys that are rising in GEW? Are you like excited to see who's going to be like the next top guy to like take over?
Well, they're the exact reason why I'm leaving, because I see that GW is in good hands. I feel like people like you, Charlie Whiskers, Jamal Ortiz, the comeback of Virgil Graves, OG Beast, Misery, all these guys are the future of GEW. And I don't have to be here, but I am gonna be a mentor in some of these people's lives. Some of these guys is lost, and a lot of these guys have untapped potential that they have not pushed out yet. So you might see me around the locker room a lot more, being that I'm just not gonna be an active performer. But just to tell you all, just with Fat Caesar and also your brother's blessing, is that after my retirement match with King Justice at Wrestle Bowl, I will be assuming my new role as the booker and general manager of EVW.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, and like I said before, me and my brother have no problem with that. I actually did
it is actually a company that we have acquired and we are partnering with, so we can have that alternative for everybody to watch. We almost had that with this other company I forgot. We built it for them. You know what we're talking about, right?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
What organization is this?
Oh,
UWA. Okay.
Yeah. UWA. And funny enough, I remember UWA tried to, when we had our war pay-per-view at first, they tried to recruit you, Johnny, to attack us. And when I saw that, I laughed. I said, listen, I talked to this guy. He's gonna come to GEW quick. He's not gonna fight for this unorganized, chaotic league UWAs, and you know what? Their owner, Chris, you know, he's my son. And the reason I say he's my son is I gave him the name. It used to be called UA. It was very unattractive to the ear and to the tongue when you say it. I told him to put the W in it. I taught him the structure. I even gave him the name of his house show, Revolution.
Ooh.
Revolution was the name of our pay-per-view, where it was us versus UA, and they didn't win one match against us. It was a blowout.
We beat their fucking ass. It was not fun. It was not fun for us. It was fun beating their ass and not having to take any damage whatsoever.
Not only that, it was cool to let some of our lower tier guys get their shine on, because even our lower tier guys destroyed their top tier.
That's a damn shame. I wonder where they're at now.
I hear they're, I think they're on Spike right now, and I think they come on once a week.
That sounds sad.
Yeah, Martin Money just sent me a text, giving you a shout out, bud. Martin Money, he's the real deal. Tell you that. Been in a few matches with him. The guy's that good. And he's another guy that I got to work with a lot in EVW. Actually, Jamal and I, we beat him and his brother for the tag titles. Dude's good. Like, he's just a phenomenal performer, and that's a guy that I can see going really far.
He has
in
a match. He has a match with Big Buford, actually.
Really?
So,
oh man, that's going to be a really good match. That's going to be so hard to call. Oh my God. But what kind of match are they doing?
I gotta check, because my card. Listen, I make so many of them, but I believe it's a regular Extreme Rules match. But either way, it's gonna be something. And little spoiler alert, but there might be something in it for the winner.
Ooh, okay.
Leave it at that.
I can't wait to see the outcome of that match. That's going to be a damn good match. I can't wait
He's
for that.
definitely gonna get a push, though.
Oh, that guy, he really does. He's like, if he was in IWL, he'd probably flow under the radar, but he's a guy that he's always consistent. He's over in his promos, you know, he has heart, he has passion, you know, and he's really good. He's taken me to my limits a few times, and I've never done a one-on-one. I've done a few house shows with him in multi-man matches, you know, but he still thinks he's not on the dick list, and Martin Money, you are on the dick list, my homie, all right? But yeah, shout out to my boy Martin. But let's go on. So with your retirement, we already went over what your future is like after your retirement. Who are the few people that you think that can carry GEW? Like the guys that you have your blessing and to give the torch to.
Most definitely you, King Justice, Leo Mack, Kazuya still got it in him.
Man, he's so old. He's getting old.
You know,
he's getting up there.
He's getting old, but he's a stubborn motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We had a street for our last match, because my title runs were directly coming from him. We had the most biggest rivalries throughout all these years.
And he was the youngest superstar that we ever signed in the beginning. So, like, that's another reason why Kaz's been here so long, is because we signed him at 18. Literally at 18 years old.
Damn.
And that's why he's like a character from like Fall Out Boy and shit, because he has so much angst, and you know, but he still ended up being one of the most exciting superstars in the world, and I was glad to be able to have so many programs with him. But when we had that 3 Stages of Hell match, it was one of the most grueling matches ever. It's probably one of our best matches ever, and it was the best way to send off myself knowing that I did have one of the best rivalries in wrestling history with that man. So I can most proudly say that Kazuya still got it. OG Beast is one of my favorites, even though he has beaten our asses a couple of times and backstage, not in the ring though.
But that's all right. I sent the big guns after him. I
Yeah.
sent King Justice took care of that.
Funny story on Kaz, actually. When I first got to IWL, I never did any house shows or any matches with him, but he did a lot of matches with my brother. When Kaz was on his way out of IWL, I think one of his last matches was against my brother Price, and he did put Price over, even though Price was like the North American champion, but like for some reason a lot of people weren't taking him serious because he's a cruiserweight. But Cass being like a heavyweight or super heavyweight, he did really good on putting my brother over, and I gotta thank him for that.
Oh, most definitely. You know, that's a first for me because I feel like Kazuya does not put nobody over. He's like the Hulk Hogan of GEW, and you know.
Oh, he'd want to kill you for that. He would say he's the Undertaker. He would say I'm the Hulk Hogan.
Well, no, because understand. I know I know, Cesar, you're a big fan of Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan has decimated people's careers by not, you know, taking the fall, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
And
Kazuya does not take the fall for nobody. You have to earn that fall.
yeah,
And if like, he doesn't do stuff for the sake of storyline. He does it for the sake of himself. So if you beat him, it's a fucking achievement.
oh yeah, but
So
That
yeah.
is why they say when it comes to GEW, he might be our Michael Jordan.
That's one thing I really like about GEW is that, I haven't been here for very long, but from what I've gathered being here so far, there's no backstage politics at all. It's not because, hey, I know this person, or I'm buddy-buddy with management, you know, because I felt like...
No, we're all family here.
Exactly, and I felt like
And,
that's
you know,
what Killing Guys'
I
push is.
I am y'all locker room leader, and I make sure everybody is okay. That's all it's always supposed to be about. I want everybody to be happy and willing and able to take on whatever when they get in that ring. That's it. You know, everybody here is happy. If everybody's not here, is not happy, then we're trying to figure out what's going on, and we'll figure it out from there, and we can hopefully he can rectify whatever situation. That's about it. That's
And we
what all
handle it
about.
quick too. We don't like to have huge conflicts with our clients or even our consumer, anybody. We know. So if there's an issue, see us about it. We'll take care of it right away.
Exactly.
I absolutely agree. I mean, from me being in GW, I know I haven't been here for very long, but so far, all the guys in the back have been like super respectful, super nice to me. You know, management seems to be very high on me, and like I couldn't believe when I first signed that you were gonna push me right away up the food chain, and that was super awesome because in IWL it's like I had to fight like tooth and nail just to like. If I wasn't POH or management or buddy with management, I wasn't getting shit. Even though I did, get the tag team titles, and my brother was North American champion. I feel like GEW is like a really good place to be.
And we tried to make it that place, you know. Even though I'm retiring, I'm still a part of the company. But I want y'all to understand that GEW is the place for you to be you, and the place for you to be happy to do what you do, and that's it.
And it's the home of fucking wrestling, for real.
So let's transition here. Now we cover GEW. Now with your retirement, are you still going to be able to do APW?
To be honest, there'll be a stand-in that I want to be picking of my choosing that will come to APW. I would love to come there as an announcer, if you would like.
Oh, maybe maybe in a management role.
Oh, I would love it. I would love to do it.
Because for those, APW's a organization that I had started, Alpha Pro Wrestling. Please check it out. We're on Facebook, and I've brought in a lot of talent. Brought in all my alpha male boys: Jamal, Romel, Jesse, San Antonio, and the gentleman Shade. Brought him in. He's a guy that's been kind of like MIA for a little bit, but I still hit him up from time to time, make sure he's doing okay. But I brought a lot of people in from all over the world, different promotions that I've been to, even some IWL talents, and some of the titles that we have are really awesome. We're actually holding a tournament after we get everybody, so I can make the tournament. And of course, I'm going to be in the tournament. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that started. And
you know what? I think I figured out who my standing is going to be for APW. I'm going to bring in Noah Yamamoto to APW. Yamamoto is the big red, the big Asian. He's a very tough wrestler to get in the ring with. Submission specialist, suplex specialist. He's gonna
the man can eat. I ate with the man before. He can eat.
Oh God.
Well, if you ever
So
get
can
him
Kaz.
on the show, you're gonna find out something about him. He's not only Asian. Understand, when you go to Japan, there's a lot of other places that they go and wrestle, and Samoans are the biggest, commodity in Japan in terms of wrestling. So, to be honest, Noah Yamamoto is part Samoan. That's why he's so big. He has such a big frame. Majority of the time, Asians don't get too big, but Samoans got the frame, and that's how it is for him. He is part Samoan. So your league is gonna be in good hands. We're gonna get the best. We're gonna give you the best performance that GW wants to give you, and we're gonna put on the best matches in AEW. Almost like AEW, APW.
APW and GW.
Yeah.
Which I have two people that I have in mind. My son, first one. Yeah. Which we call him Octavio. I don't know what his stage name is going to be for APW, but he is Octavio Caesar. Basically, it's kind of like I'm Julius Caesar, so he's Octavius Caesar.
So what, is he going to stab you in the back
son.
like a million times?
No. That's Brutus.
But
Yeah.
I mean, we're before we start wrapping this up, I just want to take the time to thank you guys for, taking the time to come down here to do the podcast. It was good seeing you, Grym, even though we haven't done a match, but we should probably do a house show
I'm
together.
gonna work on that.
You better fill out a dick appointment. But
we'll see about that.
you're gonna end up on the dick down list. You keep that up. But definitely would love to thank you guys, Fat Caesar. I know your schedule's very busy. Always, in meetings about storylines and management and stuff like that. So thank you for signing me and allowing me to perform under the GEW banner. Grym, it was so nice to have you come on the podcast for your retirement tour. I think a lot of people are going to be very, very sad that you're going to be leaving GEW because of how much you gave and how much you sacrificed.
I'm not leaving GEW, and you know what?
Not for a superstar.
I may have called this shit my retirement tour, but I can say it's gonna be a short retirement. I just feel like the Grym character that I've been for all these years, it's come to pass. It's time to reinvent. And I just need some time to do other things to reinvent.
So take like a hiatus.
maybe a 3-year hiatus might be a good thing. Come back when I'm 36 years old and see if I have some extra life in me left.
Well, I would love for you to come back, but we're gonna wrap this up. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to come down here and be on the podcast. You guys have been tremendous competitors, and we just I want to thank you, and the fans want to thank you guys for your dedication and hard work. So
Thank you.
no problem. So we're gonna wrap up the Weekly Dick. I've been your host, the Dick, Johnny Dick Dangerous, featuring Fat Caesar and Grym.
Dick.